After posting 500 reels and feeling stuck for a very long period of time, I realized that I had built my personal brand the wrong way this whole time. And that realization hit me hard, because I always thought copying others and doing what works for them would make me go viral and become this huge creator. But that's how you kill your brand. Because the truth is, if you're just copying others and doing what works for them, you're not building a real personal brand. You're building a commodity brand. And honestly, that is one of the biggest mistakes I see business owners make over and over again, and I made that mistake myself. But now, after posting consistently for over 2 years, I've realized that the only thing that makes people buy and follow you from the first place is you. And that might sound weird, but just think about it. Do people really buy from people who look and sound like everyone else? I think you already know the answer. People follow people who feels different. People buy into people who stand for something, and that comes from being yourself, not copying what's already working. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can build a personal brand that actually stands out, positions you as the authority, and that actually sells. So let's get into it. So the first step in order to build a personal brand that actually stands out and sells is by firstly identifying your story and your beliefs, because that is the foundation of building a strong personal brand. If you don't have those two things really dialed in and in place, you will never stand out and you will be left behind. That is the harsh truth. And I did this mistake in the beginning as well. I basically looked like everyone else. I didn't really share my story, and I had the same beliefs as my other competitors. And that's not what you want to do. But first, let's talk about the actual story and how you should identify that in the right way. So firstly, your story is what makes you different. No one has lived the same life as you. You should use the part of your story that shaped you to the person you are today. And you can find this and really identify your story, like the best part of it, the most important parts that's going to make you different from the crowd. And to identify that, you can ask yourself these type of questions here. So firstly, what's the biggest struggle I've had in the past 1 to 5 years? When was my lowest point in my life? What did that experience make me believe about myself? Where would I be today if nothing had changed? When did I realize the old way wasn't working? What do I believe now because of that experience? What advice would I give my past self? So it's all like, with the goal with this is to really find the pains from your story. Like, for example, the pains in my story was the moment when I started to post content, when I got so much hate in school, like people talking about my back and bunch of other things. And there are of course like more pains. That is just one example, but the pains that have shaped you into the person you are today, those are the things you really want to identify. And it's better to be specific. Don't just be too generic. You really have to put real time and focus into really finding these parts of your story, because then everything's going to be 10 times better. And then the last thing you have to realize, especially if you're selling something online, if you are a coach, is that people don't buy information. They buy into you as the coach, or into you as a person first. And your story is what's going to make your viewer relate and connect with you on a deeper level. And now when you have the story dialed in, the next step is finding your belief, the things that you believe that goes against the norm, that your competitors and other things in the space don't believe in, but the things you truly believe in, that you can actually prove your point on. Because the thing is, if you say the same things as everyone else, you just become noise. The people who win are the ones with the strongest message, and that comes from strong beliefs. Because if you look at all the biggest people, like the leaders throughout history, the thing that all of them have in common is that they all have a strong message that goes against the norm. So it's really important to find the thing that you truly believe in, that you can use for your content. And in order for you to identify this, you should ask yourself these type of questions here. So firstly, what would I change if I could rewrite the rules in my industry? What's the one thing I believe that most people in my space don't? What frustrates me about how people teach this topic? What experience made me believe this in the first place? What is proof do I have this belief is true? What proof do I have that this belief is true? Yeah, I think you get it. What would someone argue against my belief, and how would I respond? What mistake did I make that others are making right now? Because the truth is, once you have your story and your beliefs like super dialed in, then they should work together in your content. You want to use both. You don't want to just use one of them. Because the truth is, like, these are the things that is like the real foundation of your personal brand. This is what's going to make you different. And if you don't have this foundation, like, you will never stand out. It doesn't matter how good you're editing or how good you are at speaking to the camera. Like, this is the main thing that actually matters. And if we scroll down in this document here, you can see that, like, the moment I started to post content with my own beliefs, using my own story, I started to firstly attract better people. Like, in the beginning I was only attracting people from Pakistan, India, and we all know, like, that they usually don't have the money to invest. We want to attract the US, UK, or the Canada, and because those are all countries with money to invest. And just because I changed the way I create content, started to use my story, etc., I started to attract more people from those countries, and I started to get more qualified leads, qualified followers coming in that I could then start real conversations with and then get them on a call. So it is really like important to have this in place. Now for the second step, in order to create content that actually sells, is to speak to the right person. Because if you aren't like clear on the person you want to attract with your content, your target avatar, like, you will never be able to like take your business to the next level, because you will basically have no leads coming in. In order for you to actually generate leads and make more with your personal brand, you need to understand exactly the person you're trying to speak to. And there are two common mistakes I see so many people in this space doing every single day. So we have the first person who's creating content that is too specific to your ICP. And when I say ICP, that basically means ideal client profile, which is your target audience. And then we have the other mistake, which is creating content that is too broad and speaks to no one. So the goal is to find the middle part, which is the green part here, because once you really find that, that's when your content starts reaching the right people. And you need to understand your audience super deeply. You should know their struggles, pain points, past attempts, preference, and frustrations. You should be able to clearly picture your ideal client in front of you right now. So if you can't do that, then you basically have to just sit down and ask yourself, who do I truly want to work with? Who do I truly want to attract with my content? And then third step is understanding the different content stages. So now when you understand the person you want to attract, you have your beliefs, your story, it's finally time to create content. But you also have to know how to actually do it. And what I like to do is to follow this module right here. And you have probably seen this before. We have top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. And these are all stages for your content. Top of funnel is basically videos that you're posting that are getting more views, new eyeballs to your page. Then we had the middle of funnel content, which is content that is building more trust and really connecting with the viewer on a deeper level. And then we have the bottom of funnel content, which is the content that is going to push someone over the line and actually like buy from you or book that call. And that is like usually client interviews, etc. Like really trust building content. So it's really, really important that you understand this, and every time you post a video, you should always ask yourself, is this video meant to get new eyeballs, or is this video there to just nurture, build up trust and connect, or is this video meant to really convert people from viewers into buyers? So ask yourself every time you like post something, because that is going to like help you understand content so much more. And here are the content styles you should be focusing on, and this like works for every niche out there. I'm mainly working with fitness coaches myself, and these are the main styles we are focusing on when it comes to creating content that sells. So firstly, we have belief shifting and value content, and this is basically videos when you're focusing on shifting beliefs in the viewer, and like you should use your own beliefs, as we talked about before, the things that goes against the norm. You should use that and really talk about that in the content. And you have probably heard so many people saying that only posting like value content, like or posting value content overall, is nothing you should do, and that is completely wrong. You shouldn't post too much value content, but you still need to have some value videos, because I hear so many gurus saying that every single day. And like the reason to why you have to post some sort of value content is because like if you're not doing it, how can you expect people to really trust you and see you as the key to solve their problems? Then we have storytelling content. This is 100%, I would say, the most important style to actually post, and this is videos of you breaking down your story, specific things from it. And the reason to why storytelling content is so effective is because that is the content style that is going to connect you with the viewer on a deeper level, because people buy into you as a person and they buy into you as a story, and your story is what makes you different. Lastly, we have proof videos like client interviews, client breakdowns, client testimonials, etc. And this is the content that is going to build up so much trust, and it's going to push people over the line and actually book a call with you. So those are basically the content sites I recommend you to have in place. But now when you have been posting content, you understand the different formats, you're using the different content stages, you're clear on your story, etc. Like, how do we actually scale it? That is also something so many people are forgetting about. And here is the best way to do it, and this is exactly what I do for myself and what I implement into all of my clients' businesses, because it's going to give you a much better understanding of why people buy in the first place from you, why they choose you over everyone else, and if they had any objections before. So what we basically do is that every time we create take on a new client on the team, in the onboarding you should send this feedback form that they have to fill out, and in that feedback form you should basically like ask questions such as like why people choose you, their main objections, what make them actually take action, what made them like book the call, was there any specific video that they really felt connected to. Because once you have all that data, you can then create content that is handling objections, because you don't want to sit there on sales calls with people throwing objections in your face every single second. Instead, you should create content that is like handling those objections. So you like barely need any sales calls. Like, I've been closing deals without sales calls, and that's just because my content has been handling those objections before. And then if there's something people really like about you, then you should do more of that. What people in this form have like told me that they really liked about me is that they really like me being so honest. Then what I do is that I am being even more honest, because I'm really like pushing on the things people like. So that's how you scale content. So I hope this video was valuable. It's really important that you actually implement all these things. If you have any questions about it, just feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, because I'm more than happy to help you out. And if you want to learn more, you can always book a call below this video.